You are welcome to the Messiah Revelation Ministry, which is a prophetic end-time ministry dedicated to awakening the Hebrews who are scattered over the world. Today, we are focusing on the spiritual warfare that we engage when we awaken the elect of God, when we talk about the arrival of the Messiah. And our message is dedicated to spiritual warfare. And my observation is that awakening the Hebrew Israelite is not a joke. It is part of spiritual warfare at the highest level, and there are casualties. I'm making this video to explain certain things so that you understand, and I'll put it in a context. On May the 13th, 2024, and one of my videos was taken out, and there were restrictions on uploading new videos on the channel. And the reason for striking the video was that it was in violation of hate speech, H-A-T, hate speech. And we'll go into that. But we are using that to provide a broader perspective of the spiritual warfare regarding the awakening of the Hebrew Israelite who is scattered all over the world. And I want you to know that the scriptures are very, very important as we awaken the Hebrew. And so if you are doing the awakening of the Hebrew, if you are talking about the arrival of the Messiah, if you are talking about the second Exodus, if you are talking about the regathering of the dispersed of Israel, the outcasts of Judah, the outcasts of Israel and the dispersed of Judah, you are in a spiritual battle. It's part of a spiritual warfare. Because the other day, the Apostle Paul was in Ephesus, and he confronted the gods of Ephesus, whether you are talking about Apollo, you are talking about Baal, you are talking about Lucifer himself. And so Paul made a submission to the men and women in Ephesus, and we can find that in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. The book of Ephesians, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And so this is the battle that you face when you are a soldier in the army of the Lord, and you have a divine responsibility to awaken the flock of the Messiah, because the Messiah is coming very soon, and the elect who are scattered over the world need to be awakened. And so it is not an ordinary job that you encounter in a corporate environment. It is a divine responsibility, and you are subjected to the rules of engagement. And the engagement is that the book of Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And that is the battle that you are in when you are doing the work of the Lord, the work of the Most High. You wrestle with those who are principalities, those who are powers, and the spiritual wickedness who are in high places. When we talk about high places, we are not talking about high mountains. We are talking about places of authority. They make decisions. They are in high places and they are not visible to the eyes. They are part of the struggle that we engage in when we do the awakening. My observation, there are certain information that heads the kingdom. And you know the kingdom that we are talking about, because we have two kingdoms, the kingdom of the Most High and the kingdom of Lucifer. And those information are very, very threatening, and they are threatening to the kingdom. And so you can write a book, you can write a manuscript, you can make a speech, and you can do a sermon, and that sermon will go into the realms and it will do a lot of damage in the realms. We're talking about the spiritual realm. My personal observation, there are certain videos that I do, and when I do those videos, the information may be very heavy. So you encounter unusual obstacles even when you are uploading those videos. And in some cases, after uploading those videos, you get confirmation. It's a divine confirmation that the information is very, very important. And the Lord gives you a spiritual assessment of the damage that information made in the dark kingdom. And I've had that experience before. After I load certain videos and um, I see visions and open visions, and the visions are confirmation that the information are just loaded on the channel. That is very, very important, and the kingdom of the Most High is very happy about it. And it means that it is part of the warfare that we engage in. And when you are in the street corner, I don't know whether you are in Chicago or you are in Kingston, Jamaica, when you are awakening the Hebrews, you are engaging in spiritual battle, because Paul told the men and women in Ephesus, in Ephesians 6 verse 12, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness. And so Paul is talking about the hierarchy of demonic authority, the ones that we wrestle with and the ones that we encounter in our daily responsibilities. The responsibility of this channel is awakening the elect of the Most High as the Messiah is coming. And so we also face the wrestling, and we have to abide by the rules of engagement, because we are soldiers in the army of the Lord, and we must be bold. And so you have to be bold wherever you are, whether you are in Pittsburgh, whether you are in Baltimore, Detroit, whether you are in Mombasa, whether you are in Lagos, Nigeria, you are in Kinshasa, you are awakening your brothers and sisters who are scattered over the world. You are awakening them because the time is up. The time for the arrival of the Messiah is up. You have to be bold. I mentioned a video that was taken down, and it was very surprising to me. And the video's title, I believe, was Negroes to Hebrews, and I made a point that the Gentiles are shaken, and they found out that, or they concluded that that video is a hate video, or it violates hate policy. So I was wondering, is it the title Negroes to Hebrews? And you have to remember that there's a gentleman by name Ronald Dalton Jr., a Hebrew, an African American, born in Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania in the United States. He has done the most awakening in terms of writing books, and his book is titled Hebrews to Negroes, Awakening the Black Americans or Hebrew Americans or Hebrews in the United States, if you will. And I made a video and I said from Negroes to Hebrews. Ronald Dalton said Hebrews to Negroes, and I said Negroes to Hebrews because today you are called a Negro, but the regathering will come, the Messiah will come, and you will be gathered as a Hebrew. And so that's what um, I that's what I believe, that you are a Negro today, but you'll be a Hebrew tomorrow. Even though you are a Hebrew and they are saying you are a Negro, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because a time will come, the Messiah will come, and you will be gathered wherever you are. The name that they have given to you will not matter. If they change your name, the Most High knows your name, your original name. It is not the name on your birth certificate, but it's the name that is given to you by Elohim himself. They change the name, but the Lord knows your name. He knows who you are. He knows where you are. And based on Isaiah 11:11, the Messiah will gather you from wherever you are. He knows your name. And if you are in prison, he knows where you are. If you are in the basement of a house, he knows where you are. And if you are under a bridge, even if you are a homeless person, the Lord knows where you are. And at the time of the gathering, he will not forget you. But as we are awakening you, we are casualties of war because we are exposed to the missiles coming from all angles. I made a video, and the video was regarding the identity of the Antichrist. And since I posted the video, I saw there were a lot of spiritual attacks. And the Lord revealed to me that, yes, they are looking for you. You are a subject of attack. And in one vision, I saw policemen, and they were waiting for me to make a mistake. It was a traffic intersection, and the lights were green. When you have a green light, it means you have the right to go. It was, even though it was a green light, the intersection was very complex, and I saw policemen gathered at different places waiting for me to make the wrong turn, and so that they will be they will have a way to arrest. And the vision was a vision that I believe it simulated a situation in the United States. When you are in a vision, Sometimes you wouldn't know where you are, but I saw the police of the United States. Of course, the police of the United States symbolizing the powers, the highest powers, Babylon, the nation that is a host to a lot of Hebrew Israelites, being the nation that was principal in the captivity of Judah. In the second vision, I saw that the equipment that I was using to make videos was caught on fire, and the person who did it was running away. And so the vision is a demonstration that the enemies of Elohim are targeting my ministry, the ministry of awakening the Hebrews who are scattered all over the world. And they are all part of the spiritual warfare. As you are engaged in the awakening of the Hebrew, you are a target and you are an element of the spiritual warfare, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, we wrestle against principalities and powers, against rulers of darkness and spiritual wickedness in high places. And so, as I saw a series of visions regarding the spiritual attack against the ministry of awakening the Hebrew Israelites, I was expecting that something will happen, because the Lord reveals things in the spiritual realm before they happen in the physical realm. And so the faithful day was May the 13th, 2024, and I got a message that a video that I made regarding Hebrew Israelites is or was found to be a hate speech and should be taken out. And the title, I believe, was Negroes to Hebrews. And so you have to remember that we are in a battle. We are in a spiritual warfare. The awakening of the Hebrew over the world, it is not a joke. It's part of the spiritual warfare. So I want you to know that. And as a result of that, for a week, nothing was done and no video was uploaded. But we are still in the business of awakening the Hebrew. But this information is to let you know that when you are in the ministry of awakening the elect of God, you are a soldier of the army of the Lord, and you are subject to the missiles that come from all corners of the earth. These are invisible missiles, but as a soldier of the Lord, a soldier in the army of the Lord, I would say that be bold even to the point of martyrdom. I'm not sure whether the word that I use in Negro is a hate speech, or I'm not sure whether the comment I made about Ronald Darton, I even show his book in the video, Hebrews to Negroes. Ronald Darton has made, I believe, the most comprehensive research on the subject of the awakening of the Hebrew Israelite. And in that video, I made a comment, a reference to the book, and I show to the members of the channel the relevance of the book with regard to the awakening of the Hebrew Israelite. So hate speech regarding the video, hate speech. You have to remember that Stephen, your brother Stephen, the first person follower of the Messiah who was martyred. He was stoned to death. His crime was hate speech. He was talking about the Messiah, and he was preaching about the Messiah, and he said that the Messiah is greater than Moses, and the Lord doesn't need a physical temple because he's holy. And his preaching was considered to be hate speech, and for that reason he was stoned to death. He defended himself. Stephen defended himself. He was accused of blasphemy. And he was accused of making a hate speech, but he was very bold. He defended himself with the truth that was considered as hate speech. You have to remember that you are in a battle when you are in the business of awakening and the Hebrews, and when you are waiting for the Messiah, because it is in the interest of Lucifer to blindfold so many so that they will not know who they are, they will not be awakened, and they will miss their appointment with Elohim, because the Lord has decreed that a day is coming when the Ancient of Days will gather the outcasts of Israel and the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. And it is part of a spiritual battle. You remember Moses, when the Lord told him to go to Egypt to take his people out of Egypt. It was not a Boston Tea Party. It was not an entertainment. It was part of a spiritual warfare, and Moses had to contend with the forces, the powers and principalities, the gods and magicians of Egypt. You remember your brother Joshua. And the Lord gave him the authority to enter Canaan. And he said, I've given you the land, contend for possession of the land. And Joshua had to contend. Even though Joshua was given the authority and the key, he had to contend for possession of the promised land. He did not rest on his horse. He did not put his hands around himself. He had to fight, because it is part of spiritual warfare. And today I'm telling you that you are part of the spiritual warfare as you are being awakened, and as you are also awakening someone else, as you are preparing for the arrival of the Messiah. We are living in a time of spiritual warfare, because the forces of darkness, they are enraged, they are outraged, they are not happy about the awakening of the Hebrew, and so spiritual forces will attack. And the Lord let me know that, hey, they are waiting for you to make a wrong turn. You have the green light, but make sure the police will not find any reason to arrest you. It is a symbolic vision that the Lord gave to me when I saw green light and a complex intercession. The intercession was very complex. And so even though you have green light from different angles, and as a driver, you can make a wrong turn, a wrong move, and they will have a reason to arrest you. And when somebody comes and set fire on the machines and equipment you are using to do the awakening, it means that they are contending with you. But we will have to remember, the admonition by Paul in Ephesians 6 verse 12, we do not wrestle with flesh and blood. We wrestle against principalities, lower level, against powers, the lower level, spiritual wickedness in high places. We wrestle against a hierarchy of Luciferian powers. This is what you have to remember. Awakening the Hebrew Israelites is a spiritual warfare at a high level. It's a high level, and now you can see that the warfare has gone to a higher level, with Vladimir Putin coming out that the Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus of Nazareth, his identity, he was a black man, as reflected in the icons that he has, in Russia. And so the battle has gone to a higher level, and the principalities and powers, the rulers of darkness, they will have to contend, and the Lord warned that we will have to contend with them. And whatever happens in the spiritual realm also happens later in the physical realm. And so a video on Negroes to Hebrews, and I said the Gentile powers are shaking, and that's the title, and the video was taken down. Reason, it's a hate speech. It's very, very interesting. When the video was taken down, a member of this channel sent me a video, and I watched it, and it's very, very interesting. I saw two men who are non-black. If they are non-black, it means they have a different color. And they were making serious comments regarding black people, and mostly in the United States, because they mentioned black men and women in Chicago, in Detroit, and in Baltimore, talking about, you are saying you are going to take over the world. How can you take over the world? And they made certain comments about it. I will not repeat, because I consider that as hate, so I will not repeat those comments. But I'm wondering how come some people will have the license to make certain disparaging comments, but it is part of Ephesians 6 verse 12. It is the rules of engagement, and it is a warning to those who are awakening the Hebrews. It is not a physical fight, it is a spiritual warfare, and you have to know it's a spiritual warfare. But I encourage all the men and women who are awakening the Hebrews, and congratulations to Ronald Darton, and he has done a lot in the awakening. Dante Faustin, you have done a lot in the awakening, and all other people that I wouldn't mention by name all over the world. The time is up. The final trumpet of heaven has sounded, based upon a vision given to me on August 27, 2013. The Messiah is coming. It's true. And the awakening cannot be stopped. Nobody can stop the awakening. All I would say is that we will be bold to awaken the outcasts of Israel and the dispersed of Judah, who are still scattered to all the four corners of the earth. Be bold. Thank you for watching this video. Be bold.